How did you deal with that? How did you get through those rough times that frankly, you helped turn the city around decades later, but you were out on the streets during those rough times. How did you get through it?
Well, I mean, it's your job. I had been in Vietnam with the Marine Corps, so that feeling, that anxiety, that tension was not particularly new to me. But in 1971, the NYPD had 15 police officers killed that year. So it was a very dangerous time. We had the Black Liberation Army, that movement and other movements like it. So it was difficult. But over time, the city has gotten safer. I think a lot of hard work was done on the part of a lot of people. I think, as we said, it's a difficult time to be a police officer, and I hope recruitment picks up, because right now it's quite challenging for the police departments to fill their ranks.
Yeah.
Even when you see these demonstrations these days, those cops could be and should be doing something else, policing their cities, but they're not. They're policing these demonstrations. And it's a big opportunity, of course, for localities.
Absolutely. We have almost 1 million sworn law enforcement officers in this country, but thousands of officers have left departments across the country, and that really impacts the operational effectiveness of those departments. When you think about the contributing factors to this, how do you overcome it? How do you get kids whose father was a police officer, whose grandfather was a police officer, or somebody who sees somebody standing on that thin blue line, how do you get them to want to do this in today's day and age?
Well, I think it's complex. I think you have to make the job more appealing. And right now, throughout the country, there is a continuing movement towards disciplining, restricting police officers. And I think some of that has to change for people to want to be police officers again. As I say, I looked at it as a calling, but that's not the feeling anymore. It's a very demanding job. People who are not in a police department see the disrespect that's now directed at police officers. That is certainly a disincentive to want to become a police officer.
Commissioner, last year in 2023, 136 officers died in the line of duty. Of course, that doesn't count for suicides or other issues that may happen post-service because of trauma. Do you think we're doing enough? Are we doing enough to try to protect them while they're on the job? Are we doing enough to demonstrate that they have political support for the work that they do?
Well, I think there's a real question as to whether or not police these days have the political support that they should have, that I think they should have. And some of that has to be changed at the ballot box. And you have to vote people out who appear to be anti-police and in many instances sort of pro-criminally. We see the laws that were changed in New York State, actually going back to 1919, the no bail, no jail law. After George Floyd, 150 laws were passed throughout the country to, in essence, penalize police officers. So some of this has got to change. It changes, I think, by changing political people. As you say, politics is an important part of this. You have to back up your police. And the feeling now is that that's just not there. It's not there in New York City and other major cities. So people are not signing up to be police officers, and they're retiring early, which is another big problem.
Well, hopefully folks will look at your example, Commissioner, and they'll say, yes, I want to do that. I want to serve my community and serve my nation. Former NYPD Commissioner Ray Kelly, thank you so much, sir.